Are we live yet? Fortean words. Fortean words for Fortean words. Fortean words for Fortean words. Fortean words. Do. Sometimes spooky, sometimes not very spooky. Spooky, spooky, spook.
The Black Beauty theme is definitely the best for the Willy Bum Bum song. Really bad.
It's what do you mean the Black Beauty theme? It's my new theme tune.
Black Beauty theme.
No. It's the Fortean words theme tune. It's the one which I any coincidences to any other theme or melody is purely coincidental, and I cannot be sued.
Yeah.
Yeah.
These dreams go on when I close my eyes. Anyway, why are we talking about songs that contain dreams, Hobbit? That contain the word dreams?
Like the one by R&B artist Gabrielle, Dreams Can Come True, Greatest Hits Volume 1. I don't remember that in the lyrics, but that's what it says in the title. Yeah.
What's the other dream? There's got to be a... Oh, what was the Jason Donovan one from the Jason?
Well, whilst you're thinking
Donovan
of
one
that,
from Every Dream, from Jason and the Technicolor Dreamcoat. What's that one?
So I'm just going to quote Professor Brian Cox. I asked him to do a comment about tonight's
Jason Donovan, amazing.
And so when Professor Brian Cox was asked to comment, he said, "Aren't dreams amazing?"
Is he not Professor Sir Brian Cox, MBE yet?
I don't know. Depends on not if Rishi Sunak likes his
Every
music.
dream will do. Alphabet Cat.
Yeah. So it's now. So as Professor Brian, yeah, that's it. Aren't dreams amazing? Like they're just random chemical combinations in your brain, and they mean nothing. But isn't that amazing?
What he should have said was, "Aren't dreams amazing? They're like a movie in your head."
So now I've got this bit from a prestigious scientific journal, Nature.com, and there's an abstract. But in the introduction, it's actually got a bit which needs to be said in Professor Brian Cox's voice. For reasons not currently understood, humans are typically unaware they are dreaming while dreaming. At times, however, a remarkable exception occurs, and we can become aware of the fact that we are dreaming.
I remember a really good bit of graffiti that reminds me of. It's if the human brain was so simple we could understand it, we'd be so thick that we couldn't.
It's a bit of a paradox. I mean, how do you understand like the workings of your mind? And it's a fool's errand.
I've got a question. I'm calling out Brian Cox right now. I'm calling him out, and I'm going to say, Brian Cox, if you're so clever, tell us where physically the pictures in my head are.
Look, not to no, actually, this does tie into the dreams. Like, where do the dreams come from? I don't think if you cut apart a piece of gristle in a human skull and you can just say, well, look, if you put it under a microscope, you'll see the dreams happening there.
Wasn't there a horror film once where the premise was that this scientist discovered a thing where he could see the last picture that you'd seen when you were alive was burned in the back of your retina. Do you remember that one?
Yeah, I do remember that. I didn't think it was. I thought it was sci-fi, but then again, sci-fi and horror might
be. I don't know. Well, it's about a murder, I think, isn't it? So I don't know. Yeah, is it horror?
Yeah.
Or is it sci-fi?
If I like it, it's sci-fi. If I don't, it's horror. That's why The Thing's all right, because it's sci-fi. Now, I reckon. I was having this discussion with a materialist who later became mental and is now a tranny. But that's okay because I too am a tranny. Therefore, I can do whatever the hell I like.
That's the thing with materialism. It makes you godless, doesn't it?
Yeah. Now, I identify as whatever I feel like, if anybody's interested.
Whatever gets me the best deal on my insurance.
Yes, and also what will mean that when I say things on YouTube and someone reports me for a hate speech, I can go, no, I'm just expressing my trans identity. Don't oppress me, you bigot. Now, dreams. You can't just cut out a piece of gristle and say, yeah, it's happening there. It's coming in, and I reckon the brain is a receiver and transmitter of information. For example,
Jim Cook's going to see the 4K remaster of the thing on Monday.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
Shouldn't it just be like a? Well, it's you just. Oh yeah, that's it. It's a remaster.
It's analog, isn't it? It was filmed properly.
It's on. No, I mean it's on film. You just do a transfer and.
Yeah.
But surely, like the best way to see it would just be like, here's the master on the film, and you just scan it. Oh, and then you're scanning it digitally.
Yeah.
So that's
why analogs make better transfers, don't they?
Well, because with digital, you're limited to whatever the master was recording in. That's as good as it's going to get, unless you do AI upscaling. But that's another matter. No, the brain, it receives and transmits information much like a radio does. The thoughts and memories and dreams aren't stored in your brain. It's just the brain can access them. And this also ties into the episode we did about the Akashic Record. The Akashic Record's not a physical place, but it's something that people access to. And that's
Back
why...
to the subject of film, like you get all those films that are the same thing, but kind of same things, but made by different studios. I mean, some of it could be industrial espionage, but like you had films like Dante's Peak and Volcano, which are essentially the same movie, weren't they?
Oh, if I'm going to be cynical about it, I'll just say, Mr. Weinstein was at a child brothel, and whilst he was buggering the children there, was talking about this idea, I'm going to make this children's film about ants, and, it's a colony of ants. And then someone over at Disney would be like, I'm just going to call it A Bug's Life and make it 25% different.
Yeah.
They just both happen to be at the same child prostitution brothel. These are purely fictitious things, and I'm talking about a fictitious company called Disney, and a fictitious Weinstein, and a fictitious place called Hollywood, which has no relation to the real Hollywood. But anyway, there is this phenomena called spontaneous invention, and a famous example of it is nylon. And both a team in New York and a team in London invented it at the same time. And the patent was awarded to both of them because they couldn't prove there was any espionage that went on. And it could just be, in fact, this was brought up recently, although I suspect in this case it was just a case of one of the writers in SNL
speaking of spooky stuff, Strange Brigade's on sale on Steam.
One of the writers of SNL saw this Joel Haver sketch about the Charming Bears, and one of them saying, I don't want to be a butt-wiping bear, I want to go to college. And SNL did a sketch about the Charming Bears, very similar, but it's different. So the fact is, not all of the spontaneous invention can be explained away as, that's just industrial espionage, or they just, overheard some of the writers talking about their idea and copied it. Some of it is genuinely like two people had the same idea at the same time, or two musicians.
Oh, Brucey's actually, hold on one sec. Brucey Kibbett says we should do an episode on AI art. It's the spookiest thing I've seen in a long time.
So, it's like with some artists where they'll be writing songs with very similar lyrics or the same sort of ideas at the same time. And that's one of the ones which I find very interesting, because I've touched in on this previously with Well, other people have noticed it as well.
Do you think artists pull from the Akashic record?
Yes. Yeah, artists by their nature are sensitive to stuff. And that's why if there's something big in the future, their art will reflect it. And that's why you see all these various artists depicting...
Like the woman who wrote the book about the Titanic sinking. Remember that one?
Or like episode? Both The Simpsons, The Matrix, Supertramp, and there's numerous others, not just those ones I've mentioned, that have shown in their art years, and in the case of Supertramp, decades before the 11th of September attacks happening.
I mean, couldn't that just be like the Infinite Monkeys, Infinite Typewriters kind of scenario? And there's an almost infinite number of album covers.
Except it's not an infinity, and as you know, I don't believe in coincidence. So I'm not going to even entertain that premise. I find it insulting. So thank you for coming to my TEDx talk. Now go away. I do actually have some stuff about dreams and Lewis Carroll.
Oh, the Lone Gunman episode. I'll get a bit closer to the mic.
Yeah, the Lone Gunman as well. However, I didn't mention the Lone Gunman because that pilot episode was not written by Chris
Carter, was it?
Chris Carter. I was going to say Chris Cantwell's not the creator of X-Files.
How different the X-Files would have been.
No, that would have been a true awakening story. Like it starts off with UFOs and aliens, and then it turns out the government man's actually working for a cabal of
I think
people that don't work on the.
I think Uno's watching the wrong episode. He's talking about Port Arthur now. He's talking about conspiracy theories.
So, but the Lone Gunman pilot episode was ghost written by a CIA glow in the dark, and I'm not allowed to use this term because apparently Susan gets upset if I use this magic term, so I'm not going to use it.
Do you remember Scully in GQ Hobbit?
I remember the Scully fan fiction, but I'm not going to talk about that because it's pornographic.
The character used to grate on me, to be honest, Scully. Like the stuff she'd seen, and she just kept going, "Oh no, it's swamp gas over Venus" every time. Except for that one episode where she goes, "It is," and Mulder's going, "No, it's swamp gas over Venus," because that's the story. That's the way it goes. That's
the joke.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got bored with X-Files because I'm just like, look, there's no character progression here. This is not a real creature. You can't just see all this stuff and just go, it's a Fata Morgana swamp gas over Venus. Yeah.
I think the problem was the end of series stuff got too big and they learnt too much, and then they just went back to being FBI agents for some.
Michael Zarian's done work on Blake 7. Oh, really? I'm interested in that, Uno. Do you know about Michael Zarian?
No.
Michael Zarian's this Irish gobshite, and way back when he was on the dole, he went to a night class on philosophy, and one of the scalawags in there was one of the boys. He said to him, "Who are you and where are you going?" And Michael Zarian thought that's very interesting because he says, "Well, funny enough,
he's done work on Black 7. Actually, he was on Black 7, or he's just done a YouTube video about Black 7.
Well, until Uno spills the beans, we'll have to. That'll remain a mystery. But anyway, Michael Zarian says, "Well, that's funny enough. You should ask me that because I'm going to philosophy now to find out actually who I am and where am I going." And he'd done some interesting essays on the Irish origins of civilization, which there's more than an iota of truth there. I don't know. I used to listen to him like 15 years ago, maybe even longer than that. He was on things like Red Ice Radio and gosh, yeah, it just
he's the other episodes in this. I found the podcast episode on it. So would he do stuff like The Secret of Light, the Bible Decoded, and Pluto and the Archetypes?
Hobbit's Rishi Sunak impression is spot on. I haven't been impersonating Rishi Sunak. I've been talking about Michael Michael's the alien. So. But so I thought this was quite interesting. Going back to this nature.com article, what does the abstract say? Well, the title is called.
Oh, he was in Blake
Frequent.
Hobbit.
Michael Sarian is not an actor. I think Kuno's just talking out of his arse. The title of this article is Frequent Lucid Dreaming Associated with Increased Functional Connectivity
Ian says you do a good Frank Spencer as well.
I don't know who that is.
You know,
functional
the cat's done a whoopsie. You don't know who Frank Spencer is.
I would like to read this.
You know, where he does with the trench coat and the beret.
I would like to read the title of this article here.
God, can it?
So, frequent lucid.
But you're not letting me derail you.
Again, like one of the reasons why we'll be talking about dreams will be made apparent later. But let's try and read the title of this article out. Frequent lucid dreaming associated with increased functional connectivity between frontopolar cortex and temporal-parietal association areas. It's easy for you to say.
Michael Sarian looks like an old Andrew Tate.
Well, he's very suave looking. He's half Indian.
Bald head.
He's half Indian and half Irish.
Oh, Betty, cat's done a whoopsie. You don't know that one?
Fuck are you on about? I literally have no idea.
You've never seen Frank Spencer, Hobbit.
Are you having a funny turn?
You need to dig out some episodes of Some Mothers Do Have Them stat. Michael Crawford used to do his own stunts in it.
I'm not watching that.
You should.
Hobbit does a wicked Tommy Cooper. I like Tommy Cooper. Just like that.
Especially when he died and everyone laughed. At least he went as he lived.
I was going to say, he died doing what he loved, making the audience laugh.
Isn't it supposed to be good if you die with your boots on?
Don't know. Humans typically lack awareness that they're dreaming while dreaming, which, I mean, am I not human? I remember the vast majority, I want to say the vast majority of my dreams, but how do you quantify the dreams you don't remember? Even the ones which I can't recollect them, I know when I've been dreaming. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Do you know when you've had a dream but you can't recall any of it?
Oh no, yeah, I very rarely remember dreams. I remember dreams probably half hour up to half hour after waking up, but then after that they're gone completely.
Oh, I remember dreams, even ones I've had from like when I was a teenager. I still remember them. Anyway, however, at times a remarkable exception occurs and reflective consciousness can be regained while dreaming, referred to as lucid dreaming. So this is, from what I understand, this abstract is saying that if you know you're dreaming in the dream, then that's lucid dreaming.
You poop.
But I thought
you poop for real.
That is true. But there are some dreams where I've pissed in the dream.
Jeffrey Dahmer's mum.
But there's some dreams where I've pissed in the dream, but I've not pissed in real life. So what's that about? What?
I think your buddy knows about that one.
Now, so, oh yeah, I suppose if I am aware that I'm dreaming, then, but this is the thing, like, I used to have this thing with lucid dreams, where I was like, okay, I'm aware I'm dreaming, and then I go to another level of consciousness, like, now I'm going to actively affect my dream, and I found my sleep wasn't very good because of it, because I wasn't really asleep. I was conscious, and I was, controlling my dream world. So I've said to myself since then that I will go back to pretending I'm really asleep, which sounds silly, and maybe it is, but I suppose that means my dreams are still lucid, but I'm just pretending that it's only now when I think about it and speak it out loud where I just realise that no, I'm still lucid dreaming. It's just I'm pretending I'm not lucid dreaming. Like, I want to be a passive observer. Like, oh, my brain's giving me a fun dream. I'm going to be an observer in this and see where it's going to take me. I feel like it's an artist and it's creating something. And if I was to say, yeah, but no, paint like her with big boobs and have it jiggly in my face, it'd be like, I don't want to stop the master when it's at work, if that makes any sense whatsoever.
I find whenever I realise I'm dreaming, that's it done.
You wake up.
Yeah.
Well, that's the other thing as well. Like when I was lucid dreaming, like actively going like I'm going to shape the outcome. After a while, you do just wake up. So that's why now I go, oh, I know I'm dreaming, but I'm going to pretend I don't know, so I don't wake up because this dream's interesting. I've never been in a dream where I thought, oh, this is boring, I want to wake up now. Although there has been a few nightmares where I've woken up. And there's been some dreams where they're not nightmares, but I'm very angry, and then I wake up and I'm all hot and bothered.
Have you had a dream where you're dreaming about someone, but they have the appearance of somebody else, but you know it's another person? That's a bit weird. I've had that once before.
Yeah, I've never had that one specifically. Thing is, I'm closing my eyes now. I'm trying to recollect them, but people's faces, maybe it's tied into the autism, but they're not really there. Like I know that they're there, but I can never really make out the details. Like I can definitely see details with building stuff, but even then, I don't think it's my dreams are that visual. It's more like it's the suggestion of something. It's so hard to put it into words because it's a very different world to what we inhabit. And I suppose it's based on how I perceive things. Like I just take it for granted when I look outside the world and it's there and it's got all those details. But then if I was trying to recollect or draw back what I saw, it wouldn't be detailed at all because the way I recollect things is like, well, it's a street and there's trees in it. I don't know what the trees are. I don't know how many of them are, and I can't remember all the individual branches and where they were, but I could draw sort of blobs where those things are.
You want to go through the nine common dreams and their interpretations?
Can do it a bit, but I want to do a bit more about this thing here. So again, this is from nature.com. This is what science boffins read.
Ooh,
so we said that
with night terrors. Oh, blimey!
My dad had that once, and like the demon which was trying to sit on his chest, he just said to him, "No, I'm not having this." And then the demon fucked off. I was like, well, "It's not a very persistent demon, but good." He said it wasn't the last time he saw it as well. It's like one time when it was just like hovering above the door frame. It's like how can it be hanging onto that door frame? He says, "I know what you are, and I'm not letting you do it." So he just said no to it again, and then he said that's the last time he ever saw it. Whilst most individuals experience lucid dreams, rarely there is substantial variance in lucid dream frequency. The neurobiological basis. Neurobiological, it's one of those terms, you don't really use it in everyday parlance, but like it's your brain and it's the biology of the brain. I suppose that is the best word for it. Anyway, the neurobiological basis of lucid dreaming is unknown, but evidence points to involvement of the anterior prefrontal cortex, the APFC for short, and the parietal cortex. The study evaluated the neuroanatomical, neurofunctional correlates of frequent lucid dreams and specificality where the function connectivity of APFC is associated with frequent lucid dreams. We analyzed structural and functional magnetic resonance imaging from an exceptional sample of 14 individuals. How is it an exceptional sample of 14 individuals? Oh, I suppose the sample's exceptional because they reported more than 3 lucid dreams a week, and the control group matched on age, gender, and dream recall that reported less than 1 lucid dream a year. So I would be in this lucid dreaming group because I do have 3 or more lucid dreams a week. Compared to controls, the frequent lucid dream group showed significantly increased resting state functional connectivity between left APFC and bilateral angular gyrus. Isn't that like a type of spinning meat?
A gyros, yeah. A
Have
gyros
some garlic sauce in that.
is like a Greek. It's like a Greek kebab, doner kebab.
It's got that Greek garlic yogurt in it, which I can't ever pronounce. The tzatziki or something like that. Yeah.
Good old Alan.
So anyway, the bilateral angular gyrus, the bilateral middle temporal gyrus, and the right inferior frontal gyrus. Oh, I'm getting hungry.
That's a lot of gyros.
The higher node degree in strength. Yeah, and strengthen left APFC. In contrast, no significant differences in brain structure were observed. Our results suggest that frequent lucid dreams associated.
Good news, Damien's missus scared off the shadow people and the aliens that were giving him night terrors.
Oh, good. Our results suggest that frequent lucid dreaming is associated with increased functional connectivity between APFC and temporoparietal association areas, regions normally deactivated during sleep. So for whatever reason, my bits of my brain don't go to sleep, which is probably why I'm tired all the time. And then this article, by the way, is like massive. Oh, hang on. It is massively long. And it's something I'm probably going to read. So I say, every time I say I'm going to read something, I don't, because I don't like reading anymore. I don't need to give examples of it. If I don't have to read something, I won't.
No, I quite enjoy reading. I just need to get into it. I've just spent too much time reading screens, websites, and fucking social media, so I can't. It's quite hard to get into reading properly now, isn't it?
Well, I mean, like the last book I read, and it had pictures in it, so it helped.
Ian says Hobbit wakes
was
up
the
How does Ian?
Why is Ian observing my? Yeah, I was going to say, why is he observing my sleep patterns? Now, oh yeah, there's this. I'm further scrolling into this. No, that was it. The last book I read, and it was good and it was easy to read. Was the Wood Fire Guide or the Wood Something Guide by Vincent Furkettle as a forester, who you and Ian have both mentioned in your Rendlesham Forest episode. And that's why I got very excited, because I was like, I know that name, Vincent Furkettle, because for a start, there's not many people with a name like Vincent Furkettle. And secondly, it's like, yeah, I know him because he's a forester and he's written books about wood, and I find it very interesting because like he is interested in wood in the same way that I'm interested in heat sinks and engines and stuff. So I appreciate his autistic detail. But then again, he's made an entire career and living out of being a forester. So of course he'd have autistic obsession with wood. Yeah, it was good. I'm scrolling through this article. Most of it's really not pertinent to the chat. There's some MRI images of brains with bits lit up. And then is the discussion, summary of main findings. Oh, here we go. To the best of our knowledge, the current study is the first to evaluate differences in brain structure and functional connectivity of individuals who experience lucid dreams with high frequency. We found that compared to a control group matched on age, gender, and dream recall frequency, individuals who reported lucid dreams spontaneously approximated every other night or more had increased resting state functional connectivity between the left anterior prefrontal cortex, the APFC, and the bilateral angular gyrus. The bilateral middle, and so it goes on to say about various parts of the brain. The frequent lucid dream group also showed decreased frontal connectivity between left APFC and bilateral insula. Whole brain graph theoretic analysis revealed that left APFC had increased node degree and strength in the frequent lucid dream group compared to the control group. In contrast to these functional changes, we did not observe any differences in brain structure, or grey matter density, in any brain area between the groups. Furthermore, no differences were observed between frequent lucid dream and control groups in behavioural questionnaire measures of working memory capacity, prospective memory, mind-wandering frequency, or trait mindfulness. Our results converge with the recent functional MRI case study of lucid dreaming, which found that a highly similar network brain areas increased fMRI bold signal during... I don't know what a bold signal is. But anyway, fMRI bold signal during lucid compared to baseline REM sleep, including... So people are asleep in these machines how do you sleep in an MRI machine? They're bloody noisy. And if you're going into like a 5 Tesla machine, it's really weird. It will skew your center of gravity, and in 10% of people that do it, they have a metallic taste in their mouth. I mean, to me, I could taste copper when I was in one of those.
Well, they must look for people with certain attributes. I suppose one of them's being kind of like immune to stuff like that, I suppose.
Oh, yeah, I don't know. I mean, if I'd have known about this thing, I would have volunteered for it, because I quite like MRI machines. So whenever there's like a test and I meet the criteria, I just volunteer myself for it so I can go in there and they always say to me, like, oh, you know, they get claustrophobic and panic button. It's like, this isn't my first rodeo, buddy. Just stick me in the machine so I can go lay down. Although it's annoying these days, because before you used to have these like earmuffs on them, and they'd have these tubes, and they could pipe music through the tubes into it. So I just normally have like Bod's calendar on. But then some of these tests are like, no, we can't have music in the test because that could affect the outcomes of the study. So I just got to like suffer with the machine whilst it's going bang, 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 bang. I'll see if my local hospital's doing MRI studies. Lucid dreaming, brain connectivity, becoming lucid during REM sleep. Dreaming involves making an accurate metacognitive judgment about the state of consciousness one is in. What a load of bollocks that statement is. Becoming lucid during REM sleep, right? Okay, so you're having your dream sleep and you're becoming lucid. You're aware you're dreaming. Involves making an accurate metacognitive judgment. So what on earth is... I mean, I know cognitive judgment is something to do with like your cognition. And your cognition is... If you're cognizant of something, it means you know it, right? So, but what's this? You're making an accurate metacognitive judgment. What if I made an inaccurate judgment? What if I was like, oh, I'm dreaming? Oh, but how do you know you're dreaming? Well, what if like you're in... Like, you can't... It's one of those like statements where it's just like you're being clever for the sake of being clever. This is not helpful. Like, in what scenario are you going to be like, oh, I've made an inaccurate metacognitive judgment. Yeah, I thought I was dreaming, but it turns out I wasn't. So what? It was a hallucination then? What? That's a load of bollocks. Right, I'm going to rephrase this. Becoming lucid during REM sleep involves making a judgment about you dreaming, which means you're cognizant, which means... So, yeah... anyway, let's read this sentence as the boffins say it. Becoming lucid during REM sleep dreaming involves making accurate metacognitive judgment about the state of consciousness one is in, often by recognizing that the correct explanation for anomaly in the dream is that one is dreaming. Oh, I suppose what you could say is that you are aware you're in a dream, but you're not aware it's a dream. To you, it just feels like the waking world. Yeah.
It's never quite like that. I always find it's a bit... I find it's a bit hazy. I wouldn't say it feels like the real world. I'm convinced it's the real world, but kind of after a while you realise that it's not.
You ever get these dreams where, like, when you're in the dream, it seems highly realistic, and then when you wake up, it takes you a while to realise that, yes, but that's a physical impossibility, or that defies the laws of physics, or something.
Dumb starting no, Hobbit's
I mean, one
Price
example.
impression is amazing.
Everyone just thinks like I'm impersonating these people. I'm not impersonating, but I mean, I'll take the credit for it. It's great, yeah. But it just
Marco Coletti
okay.
Spaghetti wants to know: Hobbit, is cheese consumption at night gives you nightmares? Is that true?
Right. Okay. So cheese contains tryptamines. I think bananas contain them as well, and some drugs contain tryptamines. In fact, if I go on, let's see if this website's still up. Because as I find out, a lot of websites I used to go to no longer exist because the internet is dead.
Episode be the death of the internet.
Yeah, why not? Just do a swan song. Like the internet's this thing we used to have, and now it's not. And I think we can use all the gamer words we want on that episode because no one will be around to hear it. Now, erowid.org, which is about drugs. Now, chemicals. I think if I go to tryptamine, let's see, MMP, THC, no. The way they organise things is a bit fucky. Plants? No. Herbs. Pharmaceuticals. Maybe that's under pharmaceuticals. Tryptamine. Come on, where's tryptamine? Tramadol. No. Smart drugs. Herbal ecstasy. No, that's not it. Oxyracetams. No. What if I... Okay, erowid.org is a very useful resource. It's better than Wikipedia. Oh, they do actually have a tryptamine page on Erowid. A list of known or possibly psychoactive tryptamines. So what have we got? So there's... Oh, okay, so yeah, DMT, which is dimethyltryptamine. It's a hormone released by the... Oh, my brain anatomy is not good. I think it's released by the pineal gland. During REM sleep, the DMT is attributed to causing dream states, and if you take it whilst you're waking, it's hallucinogenic. Then they talk about psilocin, which is not to be confused with psilocybin. Bufotenine, which is causes physical symptoms, which is because it's toad venom. I think there's the tribes in South America. They got those poison darts. The poison they use is toad venom. It causes paralysis. So yeah, it turns out that the derivatives of tryptamines are various hallucinogenic compounds. And tryptamines, which you get from melatonin. Well, there you go. That's also induces sleep, resets circadian rhythm, an antioxidant. Now, tryptamines. Where do you get them from? Yes, well, certain mushrooms have tryptamines in them, including things like liberty caps, which have a derivative of tryptamine known as psilocybin or psilocin. But the ones like cheese does contain tryptamine, so do bananas. You eat these foods before you go to sleep, and the likelihood of you dreaming would increase. There was also another thing called, I don't know what it was... Some sort of dream herb. A horribly bitter substance, by the way. I think ever since I've taken that that's where my lucid dreaming has just been like permanent. Maybe I took too much. Did an overdose on the damn stuff. Yeah. But anyway, yeah. If it would cause a nightmare or not, nightmares can be caused by all sorts of things. Don't really know what they're about. Some might say, much like a psychedelic trip, it's about setting. But then I've had nightmares when I've not been stressed or upset, and they just happen. The one thing which seems to trigger me, it's not really a nightmare, but it's more like a rage dream, which will wake me up because the emotion is very real, even if the dream's completely, it's just a dream, is I get very hot, and in the dream I get very angry, to the point where I'll wake up and I'm covered in sweat. And usually I just cool down. And sometimes I have to calm down as well, but because I'm so used to these now, I just the anger goes quite quickly, because I quickly go, oh, it's one of those dreams. I used to get to the point where I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake, I'm awake now, and then I get even more wound up, and then the anger of the dream would get replaced with the frustration of not being asleep. But I'm so used to the insomnia that I just seem to accept it and realise that I'll get my sleep eventually. It's just I was going to be miserable for that day. So yeah, gone into a bit of the neurochemistry of dreams and lucid dreaming, and a bit of like Art Dreams Amazing from nature.com. Now, most common nightmare thing for me is wobbly teeth. Yeah. No, it's not a nightmare for me, but I have had dreams about teeth falling out, and it's apparently it's a very common dream theme. It's a sign that you're getting older and you're worried about your mortality. Apparently, women, as well as the teeth falling out dreams, they get dreams about their hair falling out. There was, and I think it's not the Psychical Society, although it might be, but Charles Dickens and Lewis Carroll, both members of the Psychical Society, and they were doing... If you fell
asleep whilst on LSD, is it a dream or hallucination, Hobbit?
So, like, shall I talk about some experiences, or that may or may not be related to anybody real or fictitious? Alright, let's just say, here's a fictitious story, right? You can make of this what you will. Someone took LSD once, and they're very sensible about it. They did it in a controlled environment, and they, after about 12 hours, they eventually came down from their trip, and they had an uneventful, dreamless, deep sleep. Very restful. Then, a few weeks later, one of the most vivid dreams of their life, where not only the details were very vivid and sharp, but also to the point where they could taste things in the dream. And that was quite remarkable. And the dreams haven't been like that ever since. So, what's going on there? I mean, it was a few days afterwards, so maybe it was the metabolites of the LSD were converted into tryptamines, which then the pineal gland may have converted into DMT. Or maybe as the receptor sites, the serotonin, which the LSD locks onto, as that was eventually released and the body's hormones resort their balance, something happened. Or maybe...
Does that actually work? If someone's asleep, you put their finger in a cup of warm water and they piss themselves?
I've never tried it. I wouldn't know. But the thing is, I mean, I've said it before in a previous episode of Fortean Words, I think the chemicals, like hormones and such, these are just like... they're not the cause.
Hormone, don't you, a bit?
You make them vitamin.
Don't pay her.
the difference between a vitamin and a hormone is a bad joke, because the body produces hormones and it produces vitamin D through cholesterol synthesis. Also, hormones in the bodies like testosterone and estrogen are produced by cholesterol being converted into those hormones. Vitamin D as well is very similar. All are made from cholesterol, so don't trust statins. They are evil. They will cause you to have strokes, because your brain is made of cholesterol, and if your body is no longer able to process cholesterol, you'll have lesions in your brains which will lead to strokes. Statistics back me up on this. But no, this is the thing. The chemicals which we call hormones in the body, I think they are a symptom rather than the cause. The cause, I think, is something which we can't really measure, like where do thoughts and dreams come from? That's a metaphysical question. Some say it's the Akashic record, but it doesn't really answer the questions, because it's like,
well, what about where are they now? That's where are they now? Where physically
you've had
our dreams?
So, the dreams you've had, and then they're gone. Well, I mean, I've got memories of dreams, and I've got memories of real events, and
well, what I mean is that picture playing in your head. Where is it?
So, I mean,
part of me, the Akashic record on vinyl, Hobbit.
I even sort of wonder, like, with you got these memories, like, do memories of dreams get stored in different places to memories from the waking world? I don't think they are. I think, like, when I recollect, like, I know, like, memories are dreams and then memories are real life. And the reason I'm hesitating when thinking about that is because, like, I'm also trying to think, like, my granddad, before he passed away, he was suffering dementia. And it was quite upsetting, but in some ways it was quite comical. I'm not taking the piss out of him, but this is an example, right? For the last years of his life, he became vegetarian. And I suspect because of his diabetes, it's just he wasn't able to digest things. You know, he's frequently had stomach cramps and just wasn't digesting right. So I said to him, I'm going to have fish and chips tonight. Do you want fish and chips? Oh, yeah, I'd love some. So a few hours pass, and then I say to him, right, I'm going to get fish and chips now. I'll get you some fish. Oh, no, you can't, because you see, the door of the fish and chip shop is only that big, and the fish is too big, it won't fit inside. They can't get it in. No, I won't have any fish and chips. And I said, you sure? I can get you some chips. You don't? No, I don't want anything. And I told my dad about this, and he laughed, but at the time I found it quite sad. But you see, my dad said maybe because he went blind and deaf, as well as the dementia, his dream world was more real than the waking world. So that's why I'm like wondering if I can thread this together with the previous statement of are the memories of dreams stored in a different place to the memories of the waking world? And I don't really know. And I don't know how memories work. I don't think there's a little piece of gristle in the back of your brain, and like if you were to cut it out, saying, you know, put like a little slice of it. You mean
like the brain version of a USB stick or something like that?
Well, I'm saying, like, for example, you could probably say, like, on the CD or a record or even a hard drive, like, if you were to take a chunk of it and scan it, you could say, well, it contains this little bits here. You know, you could say it's got discrete little blocks. You couldn't really do that with a CD because it does it as a spiral, same with hard drives. But actually, no, that's it. Even if you just had
information's still on there, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it. And like if you were to scan like a record with a microscope, you could see the valleys and the troughs, and you know, you put a stylus in it, you'll be able to hear it. What I'm saying is that I don't think the memories are actually physically stored in the brain, and I don't think the dreams come from a physical location. I think it's something that goes on. Maybe it's some sort of electromagnetic field.
Cloud.
Oh, well, it may be electromagnetic. It could well be, because the body definitely is affected by electromagnetic frequencies. Funny enough, I was in the pub today.
Is it only stored in the brain? Because we know from some people who have had organ transplants that affects them.
When they get like a
brain.
Well, you know when they say when you think with your heart or you think with your gut, you got a gut feeling. Well, that's because you really do. There are neurons in. Is it neurons or neurons?
Neurons.
Or is it one of those tomato things?
That's neurons. It's only neurons.
But you've got. Okay, so you've got grey matter in organs what are not the brain. You've got it in your heart and in your gut as well.
Yeah.
So when people have had heart transplants, they've taken on the personality of the organ donor. It's very interesting, and because of that, it led to substantive. There was the substance of, well, we've put this organ in you from somebody else, and you've now taken on their personality traits, which goes to say that. And then people, they dissected hearts and gone, oh, well, it turns out it's not all just muscle tissue. There's grey matter here, and there's nerves, and there's bits which aren't just, a thing what pumps the blood around. It turns out when you're heartbroken and when you feel with your heart, these are real things. So your emotions are felt in the heart. And I thought, well, when we say we're driven by emotion, I think there's a lot of wisdom in that statement, because earlier this week I was really struggling with work. I mean, my work's quite physically demanding. You just hoarding bags of cement around and what have you, and I was not just physically exhausted because I was sleeping a good amount, but I was spiritually exhausted. Like, what's the fucking point in all of this? Like, I'm getting paid, but I'm not going to do anything with it, and probably get, a nuclear bomb will drop on us from Russia or something. I just thought it was all pointless. And then later on in the week, my mood cheered up, and I was just quite happily chucking bags of cement as if they were just like bags of flour. It's just, it's my muscles on Monday weren't weaker or stronger than my muscles are today. Yet I've got much more strength now than I did on Monday. And it's because we're driven by emotions. So these ephemeral, spiritual, fuzzy wuzzy things.
It's like a game like football, isn't it? You'll have football teams that something's not right in the dressing room, and they won't be playing quite right, even though, like you say,
the crowd's not cheering. Yeah, because if the crowd's not cheering for them, they're just not as animated, are they? Yeah. So having the crowd cheer you on really does energize people. So these sort of fuzzy wuzzy ephemeral spiritual things have quite a significant physical effect on people, and that's why dreams
feelings don't care about your facts, as a wise man once said.
Yeah, that's it. And put those slidey things under cars. Yes, those slidey things, they are called slippery gems, and they're nylon wedges. And it turned out emotion can cause back pain and IBS. Yes, actually, no. There's a chap on YouTube. His channel name's The Kurgan, and he's staunchly Catholic. He says the current Pope's not a Pope, so I like him.
He reminds me of somebody else we used to know.
Yeah, but imagine somebody else we used to know, but actually has real world experience, and it's like
no,
doesn't
just.
I was
talking about Jackson.
Oh yeah, whatever happened to that tosser?
I don't know.
Is he still hate it in London? It's like, well, you hate this thing, and yet you continue to persist with it. Curious.
Hopefully he's bobbing along.
I hope. No, I don't have any ill will towards Jackson. I just please get out of that shithole before you lose your sanity. There's a lot of people I could say that for, really.
Yeah. Anyway, you were saying.
Anyway, so the
Kurgan.
Kurgan, yeah, he was saying, no, what was it? He was saying it about, that's it. Right. If you get in a fight or you get a physical injury, like your bones, you've broken your bones, your muscles will physically tense up to hold that area in place and to prevent like movement of the bones to prevent further injury. So even long after
on this one, Hobbit, is there any actual truth to the fact that apparently some women have like rolled cars over to save their kids and stuff in like a moment of
they have,
for want of a better word.
Yeah, it's the desperation which they say is caused by adrenaline, but I think there's a bit more to it than that. But the thing is, long after an injury is healed, you're still getting pain and aches because the muscles haven't learnt to relax, and that's why massage is important. And I kept meaning to do it, but I kept putting it off because I'm a cheap bastard, and also like I have priorities with my money. But I kept meaning to have like massages after I do the work because it would really help up my muscles, and I'd probably sleep.
Marco Collect Spaghetti can point you to Sargon's favourite oily wank parlour in Swindon if you want.
Yeah, but you know, there's a couple of Thai massage parlours closer to hand, so to speak.
Get some. Where you're going to go to the posh one? Are you the one that all the ex-public schoolboys go to?
I could be like one of the first men to go to a massage parlour because I genuinely want like my muscles rubbed because they hurt.
You want happy ending? No, I just want a massage. That's all I want.
It literally, like, look, there's no muscles in my penis. I appreciate it, but like, you know, my back and my arms and also my hamstrings, those really need the work doing. So just on the feet as well. Just basically just rub me out all over, and the fucky sucky jam tits can wait till I go on a holiday to Pat Pong or something. But yeah, I'm sorry, chat, but the subject of dreams is such a nebulous and vast concept that it's really quite hard for me to make any salient points about this. I mean, we can talk about Lewis Carroll and the research they've done.
Ian's recommending Club 613 near where he lives.
Yeah, great. So I'm getting all the recommendations for almond oil massage parlours.
Extras. Where they do the extras. They do
because
the full body massage.
Because there's nothing more romantic than having your penis rubbed off by a 60-year-old Thai woman with a look on the face that could curdle milk. And I'm sorry, but I'm one of those memories like, look, what you're doing, I can do it myself and I can do it better. But what I can't do, what I'm paying you for, is to rub the muscles in the small of my back and stick your elbow on my spine. And
yeah, do you reckon that thing what the MPs do works? You know, where they have the woman walk up and down their back with stilettos on.
Oh well, I wouldn't recommend stilettos.
No,
unless you're.
Jeez, how do you get your jollies like that? That sounds really painful.
But like having like someone walk up and down your back, especially if they know what to do with their heels and the balls of their feet, is really good.
So is that an actual legitimate type of massage then, like someone walking up and down your back?
So with massage, it's basically you just keep rubbing at the muscles until the muscles go, oh yeah, I don't need to be tensed up. I can actually relax.
I'll give up now. Wave the white.
Yeah, it's literally that. Like
dead hand.
I mean, I understand.
Oh, yeah. I didn't get that until I read it out. Dead hand gang.
It's. I mean, I understand this better from beating my meat. You get like a piece of steak, and then you hit it with that mallet, you know, the one with the serrations on it. And when you do that, you're basically telling the tissues, like, look, you can stop being bunched up now. And it makes it all tender and lovely, and it's wonderful. And so that's why I think that's why they like the Japanese, because they're very sort of anal retentive about this stuff. They'll even, like, you know, massage their...
Shiatsu. Is shiatsu Japanese, then, is it?
Well, it sounds Japanese, doesn't it? So it probably is. But yeah, massage is you just rub something until it feels relaxed. And in fact, there's a bit of my neck which is a bit sore. My neck's starting to look like a Cardassian's neck because it's getting really, like, flared and pronounced. It's weird. It's like you do lifting, so why would my neck muscles get all pronounced from lifting? But have a wank with a flattened pork chop, then make schnitzel. What the fuck? Mate, if you do that, you're going to end up with, like, salmonella on your penis.
Can you get bloodborne salmonella?
Well, when you're dealing with raw meat, you're going to get diseases in it. And, like, basically, your penis, part of it is an internal organ. It's got mucous membranes on the glands, and that's why the foreskin and the smegma happens. And so if you rub raw meat on that, you're going to get an infection.
Do you know what the only visible internal organ is, Hobbit?
Your tongue?
Yep.
Yeah, because like, if you're going to show your penis to people, it's like, well why is that visible? I suppose some people's anuses are visible because they have prolapses, but this is deviating a bit from the subject of dreams.
Dreams, Hobbit. Do you want to do the countdown?
Go on then. I've been talking for an hour now.
I've even found it, Hobbit. I've even found it. I'll do it.
It was your idea, Hobbit. What? Damien, no, I'm talking about, like, you're getting two ideas conflated, right?
Is that a bit louder?
He's doing something.
Here we go. In at 9. In at 9 is... hold on a sec. In at 9, dreams about falling. Dreams about falling from great heights are very common. That's still a bit loud, isn't it?
Got
it. A very common. Well, there is a popular myth: if you hit the ground in your dream, you'll die in real life. It's simply not true. How do you know? So, what exactly could dreams about falling really mean? According to many popular dream interpretations, and at least one study, falling dreams are a sign that something in your life isn't going well. It might suggest you need to rethink a choice, for instance, or consider a new direction in some area of your life. Dreams of falling is very common. It's a symbol of fear in real life, or perhaps falling at work in your love life. It says Russell Grant, for God's sake. You remember Russell Grant, don't you?
I do remember Russell Grant, yeah.
So, dreams about being naked in public. Never had it. Hobbit?
I've never had a dream where I've been naked in front of people.
Dreaming of public nudity might indicate you feel like a phony. You're a phony. Or that you're afraid of revealing your imperfections and shortcomings. Oh, right, so yeah. Dreams about being chased. Yeah, I've had that one. You know when you just can't run away? Have you ever had that one, Hobbit?
Yeah, I've had that sort of dream. After a while, I give up running.
Might be hiding from your own... So if it's an animal, you might be hiding from your own anger, passions and other feelings. If it's an unknown chaser, if your pursuer is a mysterious unknown figure, it might represent a childhood experience or past trauma. A member of the opposite sex, Crisp suggests this means you're afraid of love or haunted by a past relationship. Number 4, dreams about losing teeth. What do dreams mean if your teeth fall out? It might mean you're worried about
you're getting old.
worried about your attractiveness, correct? Or appearance, for instance. It may also indicate that you're concerned about your ability to communicate, or that you're concerned that you might have said something embarrassing. The real essence of teeth is their ability to bite through, cut, tear, and grind, she explains. If your teeth fall out, you lose personal power and your ability to be assertive, decisive, and self-protective. Dreams about dying. What's that song? The one that I dream about dying all the time. I can't remember what song that is.
It dreams of it dying and the best I've ever had, mad world.
Oh, fuck yes, it is, isn't it? Yeah. Dreams about dying are the best I've ever had. Yeah, yeah, I've got it now. Death is another common subject to dreams. Never dreamt about dying.
No, neither have I.
So deaths change, much like the tarot card then.
Oh yeah, that's it. Tears for Fears did the original. That's better.
Yeah. Like death change can be so death is because the tarot card of death doesn't actually mean death. It just means an end of something, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Dreams about taking a test. I don't think I've had one of these. I bet.
No.
Oh, okay. Examinations are stressful experiences in which you're made to face up to your shortcomings, he writes. To dream of failing an exam, being late for one, or being unprepared shows that you feel unprepared for the challenges of waking life. Dreams about cheating. Someone cheating on you. Have you had one of those, Hobbit?
No. That sounds like a woman dream. Like, oh, you were cheating on me. What? Yeah, I had a dream you were cheating on me.
Yeah.
Right. Now I'm jealous and I hate you and I want a divorce. There's literally been women think oh, well, you cheated on me in a dream, so it's okay for me to cheat in real life.
Yeah. While these dreams might be a reflection of the fears of infidelity, such dreams do not probably don't mean your spouse is cheating or will cheat, says Trish and Rob McGregor, authors of A Complete Dream Dictionary, a bedside guide to knowing what your dreams mean. This is another what-if dream. You are testing the limits of reality, the authors suggest. Eve Adamson and Gail Williamson, authors of The Complete Idiot's Guide Dream Dictionary, there's a lot of these fucking books about, posit that dreams about infidelity indicate issues with trust, loyalty, communication in a relationship. If your partner cheated on you in your dream, one of you isn't getting what you need from that relationship right now, they write.
Can I just interject the dreams to say that English woman's phobia of Scots accents makes her feel sick when she hears it.
I like the one about people who get knocked on the head and they wake up with a Jamaican accent. They're my favourites.
Oh, they're just random accent. The weird and weirder ones. It's like they get a knock on the head and they start talking another language. It's like, how do you know that other language?
Who spoke German, wasn't there?
I don't even remember what it was. It was just. Yeah. Anyway, back to the common dreams what people have. The dreams about flying and floating.
Number 8.
That's got to be on the list.
Dreams in which I'm flying are the best I've ever had.
Literally were the best dreams I've ever had. I mean, I'll give you an example. Like, there's a dream, right? I'm lucid in it, and it's like, right, I'm going to do something that's really fun. I'm jumping off of the roof. It's some sort of, I want to say, Central European city.
Do you ever have the end of those dreams where you come back in, where it feels like you come back into you hit your body with a bang and you like jerk?
So in this dream, I'm on the steeple of probably a church tower or something, and I'm parachuting off, and there's I don't know, some sort of sparkly powder coming behind me, and everyone's having a party in the street. Maybe I'm just spreading aerosolized drugs. But anyway, everyone's having a party, and it's all really fun. And they're all inviting me. I'm the guest of honor. And I said, yeah, I'm going to wake up soon, but I promise I'll be back. I will be back someday.
Dom says Hobbit does a great Russell Grant impression.
They're just everybody's saying I do all these great impressions. It's I do silly voices, and occasionally they sound like other people. If they do, it's purely coincidental. Anyway, list of dreams.
Yeah. Oh, well, you want? I didn't realise. Sorry, you didn't realise you finished. So flying dreams can be. So my flying dream wasn't really a flying dream. It was like in my old house, I had stairs, and then there was like a corner on the stairs, and I jumped from the top of the stairs to the corner, to the bottom, to the corner at the bottom.
Huh.
It was weird. I dreamt about. I think other houses as well. I've dreamt about jumping down the stairs. So, but I think I have done flight. Oh God, flying alone occurs most frequently, showing the independent aspect of flying. Because it often involves positive feelings of pleasure, flying may depict our sexuality, especially aspects of it, expressing freedom from social norms and restraints. So, bunders dream about hitting the dirt, then, do they? Dreams about pregnancy, Hobbit. Have you ever had a dream about being pregnant?
Well, as a trans, then I can say those dreams are very sexist.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to answer that question.
So, pregnancy dreams might sometimes represent a woman's fears of being an inadequate mother. Author Tony Crisp says it just difficult. Suggesting pregnancy dreams indicate the dreamer is developing some area of potential or opening or deepening a relationship. Russell Grant writes that these dreams presage difficult times. Okay, so there you go. So basically, they don't know; they're just making it up. There are other dream themes that tend to be fairly common. They include discovering new rooms or passages. Hobbit, you ever done this?
Yeah, actually, there are dreams where, like, new layouts in familiar buildings is it's quite fun. Or sometimes it'll just be in new buildings, full stop.
Being dressed inappropriately. No, I don't think I've ever had that dream. Being unable to find a toilet. I don't think I ever had that dream. Have you ever
Was that the one where you
find the toilet?
Is that the way, like, you end up like pissing the bed?
Probably, yeah. When you poop in your dreams, you poop for real. That's what Jeffrey Dahmer's mama said.
Although I have had dreams where I am pissing into a toilet and then I wake up and on my bed it's dry.
Arriving somewhere late. Having a massive wave approaching you, or finding money. I don't think I've had any of those, really.
No?
No.
Same here.
Damien's had the jump down the stairs dream. Right. The tarot cards of death sounds like a Doctor Who episode. Tarot cards just always make me think of Tales of the Unexpected. You remember the music to that, don't you, Hobbit?
No.
Hold on, give me a sec. Talk for a sec, I'll find it.
So, going back to the subject of dreams, a lot of the dreams I have, they're about exploring places. I mean, one of the dreams that always stuck in my mind was I'm in this quite vast cave. I don't want to estimate how tall it is because I'm never very good at estimating heights.
Right, Are you ready for the Tales of the Unexpected theme? You ever heard this one? Oh, big silence at the start. That's really good, that is. With the like sexy ladies dancing in the fire and stuff. Do you not remember?
Well, I mean, I can't really hear it. I can hear bits here and there, but you know the communication platform we use just sees it as noise and mutes it.
Oh, okay, it's doing that, is it? Fucking thing.
Mm.
Anyway, that's the thing. This episode will be taken down. We'll be all right. We'll be all right. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Long term.
One of the dreams I do sort of distinctly remember, just because it was remarkable, was in this cave, and carved into the rock of this cave was like
Roy would say that's your mum's vagina, I should imagine.
Yeah, but then he can go fuck himself. Now, it was carved into it. It was like an 18th century English stately home but it was underneath in the cave. And what I find remarkable about this dream is I never went inside the building, although I did point out to the group of explorers I was with. Another dream I have, which is years later, I'm going down this ladder, and it's a German bunker, and there's Germans that invited me down, and I'm not asking why I'm invited down to this German bunker, but then we're going through the rooms, and it's like,
was there any glass coffee tables down there?
And I said to them, "Hang on, this isn't a German bunker. This is the cave with the state home." And I stick my head out of one of the windows, and I'm looking at the same house that I saw in a dream years ago, and I thought, well, this is incredible, because this dream is referencing an earlier dream. I mean, one of the dreams I had, which was very silly, it was really like just not very interesting at all, but it was remarkable in the fact that I was aware I was dreaming. I was at the top of what felt like a multi-story car park, and I had some Worcester sauce flavour crisps. I don't know why.
That's aged. That's aged that dream of it.
And yes, it is. And they were good. Those Worcester sauce.
Early 2000s, you had this dream. Am I right, Hobbit?
Well, mid-90s it probably was. Yeah, it was mid-90s, this dream. And I'm walking along. They were around
for quite a while, weren't they? Worcester sauce crisps.
They were the purple packets. They were quite tasty.
Yeah, they were nice.
They
were just like spicy prawn cocktail. Did you notice?
Well, I was going to say
were just variations on prawn cocktail, because the ketchup one was like a blander prawn cocktail, weren't it?
That's what I thought as well. It really, what these were was just variations of sour and savoury.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I'm in there, and I think I'm along with my granddad and my granny, and they're looking for their car, and it's like, hang on, I've been here before, and where's the car? And no, this is a dream, and I've been here to this dream before. And in that dream, I had the impression that I'd been there hundreds, if not thousands, of times before.
Bovril crisps? And remember Bovril crisps of it?
No. I know they did Marmite crisps.
They did Marmite, didn't they?
Yeah, but Twiglets are Marmite, and they're not. The horrible thing with Twiglets is I eat them, and it strips the lining of the roof of my mouth. And I'm like, well, anything that's that... Like, I can eat a Vindaloo, and it doesn't strip the lining of the roof of my mouth. But I eat Twiglets, and they do.
You put too much Marmite on there, and your mouth throbs afterwards.
Yeah, that's the same sort of thing. It's like, it's too much of a good thing. It's bad for you. But yeah, I just... that's why I say, it's a mundane dream, like in the car park.
Ian in the chat said he pooed the bed after eating too much, after drinking too much Blue Nun. Oh no, he said the Black Nun shat me up. I bet it was the Blue Nun, and he shit the bed.
I quite like Blue Nun. The other one, you see it in Lidl as well.
That's one of those that the snobs look down on, isn't it? The Blue Nun.
Well, yeah, but do you remember the time Heston Blumenthal was he was getting busy with the fizzy, with the soda stream, and he was in the City of London, and he was offering like carbonated Blue Nun and genuine vintage Dom Perignon. 9 out of 10 of the people, the city workers, were drinking it, saying, "Oh, I like this one," and they're like going for fizzy Blue Nun. And then this one guy in a pinstripe suit, he's drinking it. It's like, well, I don't know what vintage that one is, but this one here is Dom Perignon. Yes, I prefer the Dom Perignon. And it's like, he didn't know he was drinking fizzy Blue Nun, but he knew I just thought, how much champagne do you have to drink where you can specifically recognise the brand of champagne you're drinking? Because I can recognise the difference between Brut and the sweeter ones, because I like ones like Laurent Perrier, which are sweeter, and my granddad likes Brut or Brut.
Black Tower. Black Tower Hobbits. That's not a bad neither.
The one I like, I mean, Black Tower and Blue Nun are just...
Liefermilch, all right, as well.
I was just going to say, these are all brand names of Liefermilch. They're just...
Oh, are they? They're all Liefermilch. The Blue Nun seems like... The branded ones seem more sugary. They seem a lot more sugary.
Maybe they are. I mean, but Liebfraumilch is just—it means like this wine is so soft. It's like a young Mrs. Tit milk. It's just no. It's as soft as a maiden's milk, is what they're saying. And the Germans don't drink it, but the thing is, Queen Victoria quite liked it. So the Germans carrying on vinting this young maiden's tit milk for export to the UK because Queen Victoria liked it.
Rieslings, aren't they?
It is Riesling. Very rarely they'll have Gewürztraminer mixed with it as well, which, by the way, Gewürztraminer is really good white wine. Like it's ever so slightly sparkling. It's not like sparkling like champagne is sparkling. It's just because it's a young wine, it's still got a few bubbles in the thing. And it's if you want a refreshing, good white wine, a Gewürztraminer. There was this time. It's 2 years ago, and I was down in the cellar.
How about Lambrini Hobbit? Is Lambrini Italian?
Yeah, it is.
It's awful, isn't it?
It is.
Lambrini's it's one step up from lemonade, isn't it? Basically,
it's just mass-produced fizzy pop. But my granddad says, go down the cellar, get some wine bottles out. So I'm there and I was like, oh, this is Gewürztraminer. This is Gewürztraminer from 2000. It's 20 years old. So I brought it up and I said to her, Granddad, I said, yeah, I found this 20-year-old bottle of Gewürztraminer. You saying it for a special occasion? He says, oh, I don't really like that stuff. If you want to drink it, that's all right. And my mum was...
I thought white wines didn't keep.
Well, right, so red wine, it matures in flavour, and the older it is, the better it is. But apparently white wine, because it hasn't got the tannins in, doesn't do that. However, this 20-year-old bottle of Gewürztraminer was probably the nicest, softest wine I had ever drunk in my life. It was as good as Cristal Champagne, if you've ever drunk that.
What's the other one that's like Lambrini but comes in massive bottles?
Lambrusco,
that's the other one, yeah.
I happen to have a passing familiarity with these cheap fizzy wines.
I remember it. I just Lambrusco, because Lambrini's kind of like kicked it into the fucking dirt, isn't it? You don't really see Lambrusco anymore, do you?
Lambrini girls have fun. Yes, that's very true, Damien. They certainly do. Yes. Ask me how I know.
I just imagine like girls that like Lambrini like obviously back in the day they would have been like a Sharon or a Tracy, wouldn't they?
Yeah, they would, and you'd be Tiffany and Becky as well.
Yeah.
Becky liked her up the bum, she did, but never mind about that. It's not the subject of dreams. Although, there was a girl in one of my dreams. She looked a lot like the girl in Amélie, but then again, she had black hair and a French cut, so it wasn't the girl from Amélie. And plus, I hadn't seen that film.
Tracy's are definitely Lambrini girls, aren't they?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, they're the ones, the handbag in one hand, the bottle of Lambrini in the other, tottering on their high heels.
Oh, do you remember the days of girls dancing around their handbag on the dance floor?
Tracy and Sharon, Lambrinis, or even better than that, they've got some Baby Sham. Now, Baby Sham, that is good. Now, for those of you who are not old enough to know this,
Mrs. owns a full set of Baby Sham glasses. Did you see them in the cupboard?
I really should get you a bottle of Baby Sham so we can
so we can have them properly in the baby we can be like what's that Leonardo DiCaprio
Baby Sham wanking off on Greta Thunberg.
No, the one where he's holding the glass up. What's it called? The fucking thing in the 20s.
Wolf of Wall Street.
No, the other one.
I'm Leonardo DiCaprio in yet another rom-com.
Oh, what's it? Great Gatsby. That's what I'm thinking of.
Oh, okay. So, Baby Sham, for those of you not familiar with it, it's sparkling Perry. Now, Perry, unfortunately, due to marketing,
Why is it
because
called
people
baby sham then? Because that implies that it's some sort of champagne.
that was the marketing. It's Perry, but it's described as baby sham, as in baby champagne, as in it's so soft that even a baby could drink it. And in the words of Clarissa Dixon Wright, this is the sort of stuff you could give to children and they would find it frightfully delightful. She was talking about modern cocktail.
Vic Reeves. You can't give a baby booze. Baby sham, it's booze for babies.
Well, that's the joke, because it's often, if you could find a kid that doesn't like baby sham, that's a kid which is going to end up bullied by the other kids that are drunk on baby sham. Yes, you can.
Because I know they're trying to gentrify Bucky now. Do you remember when I looked at the Bucky web? This is turning into JDLE now.
Well, no, it's Fortean words, food and drink. One of us is.
These have been all this food and drink has been. Oh fuck! You can still buy it at Tesco's.
I do not know that, but I know someone who works at Tesco's.
You can buy 4 for £3 at Tesco's.
What, baby sham?
Baby sham is now the happiest drink in the world.
So you mean a 75cl bottle? You can get 4 of those for £3.
Well,
in which case,
200 mils.
That's piss weak. No, I want like a 75cl champagne bottle of baby sham. That's how I remember.
They've never done them that big. They've always been like half wine bottles, haven't they?
No, don't you try and Mandela effect me on this one, mate. I know I am a connoisseur of baby sham, and I know it comes in the champagne bottle. That was the marketing gimmick.
I've never seen a full-size bottle of baby sham. I've never seen one.
Well, I have drunk baby sham from a champagne bottle without champagne cork, and it's nice stuff.
Fucking hell!
So anyway,
orgies. 2 baby sham bottles on eBay for £26.30.
Audience, especially the younger audience, you will know Perry as pear cider because everybody's familiar with cider. Not so many people are familiar with Perry. Perry is a drink made from fermented pears. It is not pear cider.
Baby sham is coming back to Shepton Mallet, Hobbit.
This Shepton Mallet.
Oh, it sounds like it should be down south, but I don't know.
Shall I do some stuff about Charles Dickens, or do we do like some thing?
Can do.
So anyway, I'll Charles Dickens. There's a great big long article.
Shepton Mallet is a market town and civil parish in the Mendip.
Somerset. That's why I Somerset. That's why
it's got a prison. Welcome to Shepton Mallet Prison.
website. HMP Shepton Mallet.
Yeah.
So here's a really fucking long article. It's from frontiersIn.org. The website is called Frontiers. Charles Dickens' Hypnagogia, Dreams and Creativity. Introduction. Charles Dickens was a prolific and ingenious 19th century English writer who died just over 150 years ago.
There's a new website coming soon.
In 1870. He was also an insomniac, versed in sleep disorders. Dickens was a social reformer and supported the development of shelters for homeless women.
750ml bottle, is that what you want?
That is
Iceland.
What it is.
Hobbit's gone to Iceland.
I am going. Oh God, the only Iceland. Oh, there's one in there, but I don't. That place is a shit.
75 cl. Is that a regular wine bottle then? Is it?
75 centilitres is wine bottle and champagne bottle. Yeah. So
£2.85. Get yourself down there, son. Fill your boat.
Fuck yeah, that's good value. It's good stuff as well. Yeah, but
Ian used to go to a club called Gold Diggers there in the early 80s, fully Kevins and Sharons, mullets and tash, grey slip-on shoes and white socks. That kind of place.
Every single Iceland I know is in a right shithole. I can't think of a single Iceland where it's like, oh, you know what, that's a nice place to go. I'll go there. Yeah. And Don't ever get the sliced ham from Iceland as well. It's not that it's off. It's just got this weird taste to it, which is like no ham ought to taste like that.
Do you reckon,
So
do you
anyway,
reckon Ian used to look like Paul Calf back in the 80s? Do you remember
in
Paul
1870,
Calf, the Steve Coogan character? You know, bag of shit. Do you remember him?
in 1870, Charles Dickens died. Was that a Steve Coogan character?
The Hitman and Her did a show from Gold Diggers, apparently.
Charles Dickens was an insomniac, which was versed in sleep disorders. And
I used to do kangaroo sausages. I'm sure there's a joke in there somewhere. Right, you may proceed, Hobbit.
Just Iceland is where I remember my mum and dad used to shop there, and they'd write a check for the shopping, and then they swipe it through the machine with the credit card.
27 minutes. You got 27 minutes to get the offer from Iceland, which is 2 stone baked pizzas, French fries, Doritos, some sort of sweet Haribos, and Pepsi Max.
How much is Iceland paying you for this?
Put in code SCARY3, enter code at checkout. There you go. You get
Look,
all for £3.50 was £6.50. There you go.
Iceland, I will be expecting at least 6 bottles of Baby Sham, and really 24 for both of us for this live read on our prestigious.
SCARY3, which is our promotion code. It's not the one that you find on the website. It's our promotion. It's tell them SCARY3
that's a Fortean
at checkout, and you'll get all that lot for £3.50.
That is the Fortean Words exclusive. If they don't know what you're on about, just say, look, it's the Fortean Words exclusive. Everyone in Iceland is a fan of the show. They understand. They will give you a discount for being fans of the show. Now, as we will show,
Bacardi Breezes 2 for 1. Wonder Bras getting free, says Ian.
Dickens was a social reformer and supported the development of shelters for homeless women, the United Kingdom's first paediatric hospital, humane treatment of the underprivileged.
Dickens is a horrific anti-Semite, because I've seen The Artful Fagin. Disgusting anti-Semitism.
As we will show, the virtual dream world was central to Dickens' narrative structure and was fundamental to his work process. Social engagement and fantasy. We can also infer from Wynyard and Funerals. These are people they're referring to. For Dickens, fundamental emotional and social bonds are formed between different classes and peoples by creating sympathy through imagination. And for Dickens, science should excite rather than reductively explain imagination and the bonds that forge it between people. Well, okay, that is a salient point. I mean, if science doesn't excite people, then they're not going to do science, and that's why we're going to end up in the idiocracy world where all the funding goes for.
What Star Trek used to inspire scientists, didn't it? A lot of scientists became scientists because they watched Star Trek as a kid.
Well, if people aren't excited by science, you'll end up with the idiocracy world where all the research is going into hair restoration and boner pills.
What would that world look like, Hobbit?
Well, you just got a chimpanzee with a massive erection and permed hair. So anyway, another issue in Dickens' life was hypnagogia, referring to Ayeto Sensu. No idea what that is. Is
hypnagogia self-hypnotising oneself?
No. Well, why don't we look up the definition of what hypnagogia is? So I'm going to just do a brief. Hypnagogia is the experience of transitional state from wakefulness to sleep.
Hypnagogia is the experience of the transitional...
That's what I just said.
The transitional state from wakefulness to sleep.
There you go.
So it's the lucid dreaming state, isn't it?
Evening, can't hear you that well, Hemmingford. Which is strange because I can hear you quite well.
I don't know why.
You just carry on talking.
Not my fault. Oh, Ritzy or Cinderella Rockefellers. Well, brings back some memories, that does, Ian.
You sound fine in the stream. It's just my voice is a lot louder than yours.
Yeah, Hobbit's just super loud as he always is.
That's because I speak carefully and enunciate my words.
Choose the micro. Oh, Hobbit, choose the microphone.
I am actually 1.5 inches away from the microphone, so that does help.
You can probably hear his teeth dragging across the microphone.
you can hear my lips moving when I'm trying not to smile.
Hobbit IO smacks lips. Doesn't even seem to have the sniffles though. I've been blowing my nose all night, Ian.
So
I don't know what it is. What is it about podcasting that loosens up the mucus in my nose?
Tell you what, when I'm like hauling bags of cement and plaster around, that gets me really like not just sweating, but phlegm comes up, and it's like my body's trying to expel as much liquid as possible through orifices which liquid should not come out of. Yeah. I got embarrassed today because like the van I drive has got cameras all around it, so there'll be plenty of CCTV footage of me hocking up phlegm and spitting it out of the driver's side window.
Pissing in people's butches.
I get access to sinks to piss in. I don't have to piss in the bushes.
Just remember, Hobbit, it's impolite to not take the washing up out first.
Yeah. Now, is an interesting thing, right? The hypnagogic state is useful for problem solving and creative work.
Yeah, but you do say that. Like, how many times have you like cured world hunger, and all that kind of shit when you're on the toilet and then you've finished, and then 5 minutes later you've forgotten it?
Never, literally never.
You've just forgotten it.
I can tell you now.
You'll have solved like every equation possible. You'll have contemplated world peace and how to do
maybe
it.
That's gone. Maybe that's what happens to you when like the processes are involved. But as I'm lucid, I can tell you right now, my times on the toilet are quite meditative in the sense that rather than thinking about anything, I'm entirely focused on the act of what my body is expelling and then wiping up.
I can't poo without reading. I can't do it without reading.
I'm the opposite.
Even
I have
if it's
to be
the back of a shampoo bottle. I have to read something.
I have to be 100% focused on the act of defecation. Yeah, otherwise it doesn't happen. So
well, I don't know. It sounds like you're straining a bit there, Robert. I think you're going to be found on the toilet dead.
Oh no, not at all. I know how to. I lift up the knees, and I don't have a squatty potty, but I do like lift up the knees to make a squat position and helps things go through. And I don't strain because I have plenty of soluble fibre in my diet. But anyway, this statement's not backed up, which I find interesting because this article, it's got plenty of citations everywhere. So it just makes this throwaway statement of saying the hypnagogic state is useful for problem solving. I mean, there is that phrase, I'll sleep on it, and then the next day you wake up and you've got a solution for your problem. And that's happened to me. But it's never come to me in the hypnagogic state because that is the one state where I cannot remember anything which goes on. It's a very strange place and it doesn't make sense to me. It just... Anyway, so it carries on. There's studies in narcolepsy and stuff, and importantly, hypnagogia, lucid dreaming, dissociative thinking during dreaming have been reported for thousands of years in various religions and many philosophers. This article claims to explore hypnagogia and dreams in two of Dickens' most famous characters, Oliver Twist and Oliver Twist, and Ebenezer Scrooge in A Christmas Carol. This is consistent.
Now I've played and it tells the unexpected music. ASMR Tales of the Unexpected loop.
Okay.
That sounds
really
horrible.
fucking.
Do you want to see what it sounds like?
No. Can just all of ASMR fuck off?
Should we play?
No. Can all of ASMR just fuck off forever, please? Like, can it just fuck off? And go away. No. And plus the term ASMR is... I hate Americans.
What does ASMR stand for?
like there's various reasons why I hate Americans, but one of the things I hate them doing is rather than actually saying what it is, they will just abbreviate it to the initials, and
That's
they
because
expect
no
you
one's
to
going to say autonomous sensory meridian response.
It's just like, look, if these people weren't such dickheads, they would come up with
Yeah,
like
but the Yanks use the word faucet and trunk.
Well, that's the problem with Americans. They say things like faucet, trunk, and sidewalk. They're just not.
Do you have a death rant at the Yanks in Monty Python and the meaning?
They're just not. They're not good at coming up with pithy responses. They come up. Look, I'm not here to talk about Americans and how they butcher the language. All right, I want to talk about dreams. So. This article explores hypnagogic dreams. Oh yeah, that's it. Christmas Carol. This is consistent with some literary critics who have focused their attention on Dickensian sleep dreams. However, the biological approach to his work, which is the main objective of this article, is unusual. Manuscript formatting. Dickens' traumatic experiences as a teenager, as well as his wanderings in the streets of London, served as a raw material for his creative process, as well as for the composition of his characters. He also portrayed vivid dreams like those of Ebenezer Scrooge, as well as sleep disorders, possibly drawing on his own experiences and those of his family and friends. Dickens described sleep problems in his characters, including insomnia, sleep promotion, places that favour sleep, soporific effects of meals. Oh, you know what? If I have turkey, I feel really tired. Turkey, rich source of tryptamines. Hypnagogic hallucinations. I don't think I hallucinate during hypnagogia, but it's why experience other experience, two different things. Perhaps the first report of restless leg syndrome, sleep paralysis, dreams, nightmares, and night terrors, somnambulism, and drowsiness. The latter symptom appears in a boy, Joe, as a character in one of his books, who was obese, very sleepy during the day, and prone to snoring. According to Cosnet, 1992, Dickens must realise the potential severity of this syndrome. Impressive. Charles Dickens was one of the first informal experts in sleep and wake disorders, many of which had not yet been characterised in his time. The famous writer is known for having used his dreams as an aesthetic experiences of intrinsic value. For his creative fiction, he grew up under the influence of the Romantic movement and its writers, who identified a strong connection between dreams and the process of literary creation. Oh, there's a figure. It's a watercolour from 1875 of Charles Dickens. I'm gonna copy the image and put it in there, and then you two have got you've got the image what I was looking at. I'll be looking forward to dreaming soon. Figure 1, Dickens' Dream, 1875, watercolour painting by Robert Williams Buss, about Dickens and his vivid mind with characters from all his books, where he sleeps in his library at Gad's Hill. The picture is public domain. Dickens recognised the importance of sleep in his own creative mind, as well as in his contemporaries. The current studies discusses some accounts of Dickens' characters in light present-day neurobiology and creativity of dreams. Just a brief aside from Charles Dickens. Margaret Thatcher claimed she got by on 4 hours of sleep a night. I don't know how anybody can function with less than... If I get less than 8 hours of sleep, like today I've had 7 hours of sleep, I get sore eyes and I'm irritable and my brain doesn't work very well. I was trying to calculate, like, there's this product which, if you're a builder, you'll probably be familiar with, floor leveling compound. It's powdered latex and it comes in 16 kilogram bags. And I was calculating to myself, or at least I was trying to count, how many bags of latex do I have in this pallet? And if I looked at the manifest, I'd have seen there's 20. Because I was trying to think to myself, how many trips should I do this in? And in one load, I loaded up like 6 bags, and the next one I loaded up 6 bags, and the last one was like, well, I've got 8 left. Yeah, I had 8 bags left. So I decided I was going to do it in 8 because I wasn't going to be able to load up my trolley and send it through the door. So I just take my trolley from the van to the door, and then I was tossing in these 16-kilogram bags as if they were just like bags of flour, really. There was, again, my muscles seem to be animated by spirit more than anything else, although I do have a high-protein, high-fat diet. The reason I mention this is I was trying to calculate in my mind what is 6 lots of 16. I now know it's 96. And I was trying to figure out what is 8 loads, and I was like, well, you get 96, and you plus 32, so that's 98, and then you plus 30 to 98, which would be 130, but then you got minus 2, so you end up with 128, so that's 128 kilograms, which is more than my body weight. I'm not that fat. And I was just finding this interesting. It's like, how much do I physically handle and lift and shift in a day? And the answer is, do that. That's 600 kilograms a time. It's times 6. That makes it. Can't fucking work it out. It's somewhere between 3 and 3.5 tons is what I'm moving every day. And I mention this because I'm struggling to do this mental addition and stuff because I am tired. So the idea that somebody can function on 4 hours of sleep to me just sounds like a lie. I think you're actually getting 8 hours of sleep. It's just you're sleeping during the day. My grandmother, she says, I get by on 4 hours of sleep. But then she's asleep during the day for 4 hours, if not more than that.
Used to survive on 3, didn't she, apparently?
Oh, it's 3 hours of sleep. Well, that's why I'm thinking it's a lie, because I'm thinking to myself, no, if you're not getting 8 hours of sleep during the day, you've got a sleep debt, and you have to pay the debt off somewhere. So you're probably sleeping during the day.
Yeah.
It is another thing.
Do you want to listen to something quite amusing from Monty Python?
Oh, just briefly. Yeah. The writer also had, this is Charles Dickens, the habit of lying in the middle of his bed facing north. If you face south, your dreams are different to if you face north. My bed is sort of north and south, so I can either face east or west. I tend to lie on the side so I'm facing east. Anyway. Do the bit.
You'll like this bit, Hobbit. It's just when you said about the Yanks. This is quite a funny rant. Can you hear that? Okay, it seems a bit quiet.
Shut up, you American. You always talk, you Americans. You talk and you talk and you say, let me tell you something, and I just want to say this. Well, you're dead now, so shut up.
I just thought you'd like that one, Hobbit. Well, you're dead now, so shut up.
Here's the thing. No, you're dead. Fuck you.
You're always, let me tell you this, buddy. I just love that bit.
Ian, I am familiar with Kenneth Williams' matron. I'll read another paragraph of this Charles Dickens stuff in the style of Kenneth Williams. The writer also had the habit of lying in the middle of his bed, facing north, his arms outstretched and his hands equidistant from the edges. This isn't Kenneth Williams anymore. Come on. Kenneth Williams.
You got a bit Frankie Howard.
I know. It's unfortunate, but who is that other one I liked? So I can't do his voice. Are you being served? Or what was his name?
John Inman. I'm free.
Yeah, that's it. He was good. He was. I liked him.
Was funny, yeah.
Oh, and Patsy Kensit was in that, and she was gorgeous back then. She really was.
Patsy Kensit was a fish finger. I don't think she was even a fish finger girl back then. Patsy Kensit's first gig was Fish Fingers. You're thinking about Paul Pauline from EastEnders. What's her name?
Yeah. The actress
her name?
what played Pauline in EastEnders, but
Wendy
she
Richards, Alphabet Cat.
that's it. Wendy Richards.
She was like the totty in that show as well. When you think of like Pauline and her grey cardigans from EastEnders.
But the thing is, Pauline Richards, Wendy Richards, she is fitter than Barbara Cartland. No, Barbara Windsor. That's her name.
Yeah.
I think she's much more attractive than her. And the other people that are saying that, oh, Joanna Lumley's so beautiful because she was in the Avengers. But then there was Dame Diana Rigg. She was in the Avengers. Gorgeous. Far, far more beautiful.
I'm surprised you don't like on
than Joanna Lumley.
Secret Service, but and she was a Bond girl.
What? Dame Diana Rigg?
Yeah.
No, I remember that film. Yeah. What? I didn't object to her in that. Diana Rigg is beautiful.
That's my favourite Bond film. That's the best Bond film. That's the most.
Oh well, look, I can say it's not a very good Bond film, but I can still say that Diana Rigg is beautiful because it's objectively true.
Oh, Darian 936 says, tune in after 2 hours and Hobbit's talking about how attractive Peggy Mitchell is. What you'll miss. No, actually, we're saying
no, it's not Peggy Mitchell. Her name was Pauline Fowler because it's Arthur Fowler's.
Fit one. It's worse than you think.
Pauline Fowler in Are You Being Served was played by Wendy Richards, and she is pretty. She's prettier than Barbara Windsor, who played the Grant and Phil Mitchell's
apparently
mother.
Olive from On the Buses was a stunner in real life. I'll take your opinion on that one.
Oh, it's like when people try and say Mrs.
Don't they try and say that what's her name out of The Big Bang Theory? They say she's fit as well, don't they?
I'm trying to
the ugly one with the big nose.
Who's the house matron in Father Ted? Caroline Ahern? No, it wasn't Caroline Ahern, but
I don't know, some Irish bint.
But the thing is, they're saying she's actually far prettier than what she is in that. She's not really. No, she's not. But anyway, before we went on to
racist now, Father.
What got you into that sort of thing?
Down with this. I like the one when they're protesting the film and it's down with this sort of thing.
Careful now. Okay, here we go. So the writer had a habit of lying in the middle of his bed facing north. We've established this bit here. He kept his hands equidistant from the edges. He kept a compass to ensure that he slept facing north. Dickens also believed that this particular...
I think saying she's fit is pushing it.
Who? Who's fit?
Father Ted's...
Well, people was... I seem to remember people saying, oh, it's just she's got the makeup and stuff on to make her look like that. She's actually... it's just... I think people being facetious... What's insincere? Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's like the TV effect. I think it makes you like a lot more fit than you actually are.
He kept a compass to ensure that he slept facing north. Dickens also believed that this particular practice enhances creativity. Now, here's the thing, right? Previously, I used to sleep.
This is probably the best picture of a Hobbit. Hold on.
My bed was facing south, so I would face south. But occasionally, for fun,
I think you should sleep
on the whim.
South, shouldn't you?
I was sleeping facing south, where the head of the bed was that way around, so it didn't really work that well. And the dreams I had when I was facing north were very different to the dreams I had facing south. But currently, my bed is north-south, so I either face... Well, I am facing south, but I mean, like, I turn my head to the east, so I face east or west. It's different.
Right, when it comes to getting good sleep, hold on a sec. You may already know about setting the scene with darkening curtains, a lowered room temperature, another healthy habit. I like it quite. I like it quite cold because I like it warm in the bed, but then I can stick my leg out and bring my temperature down a bit.
Oh, okay. Laudanum is a tincture of opium, so that's opium and alcohol. It's not to be confused with coca wine, and they're talking about soporifics. So Dickens was...
Do you want to know the recommended sleeping direction per Vastu Shastra?
No, and he should carry on eating cow shit along with Brutus the Inane.
The recommended sleeping direction per Vastu Shastra is that you lie down with your head pointed southward. According to Feng Shui... Who
gives a fuck about these foreigners? They're all wrong on account of the fact that they're brown and foreign. So, Dickens' second novel tells the life of an orphan who lives on the streets in his first 9 years in charity shelters.
Oh, Feng Shui
unable to endure,
have your bed in the middle, freestanding.
Unable to endure unable to endure so much mistreatment, Oliver flees to London, where he joins a group of criminals led by Fagin. The boy experiences much suffering before finally living happily with an inheritance left by his father and an unexpected family. A Christmas Carol.
Other sleeping suggestions from Vastu Shastra. Keep electronics out your room. Avoid mirrors facing in front of the bed. Remove clutter from your bedroom. Painting the walls light colours such as white, cream or light earth tones. Closing windows and doors inside the room. Smearing cow shit over the walls. Well, the last one wasn't on there, but I'm pretty sure that's in there, isn't it?
And also,
doesn't it, Hobbit? According to a wise man,
I believe and according to a wise man we used to know, you got to fuck them before the packies do.
Yeah.
So, sorry, mate. He's Prime Minister now, so you're all fucked. This is not a political show. This is one where we talk about dreams. It was all a dream. You
Damien
wake up.
Grace Jones was the best Bond girl.
That's not a girl. Now, wake up. You're having a terrible dream. None of this is real.
None of what is real?
Oh, I just hoped that maybe if I said it, some people would wake up, myself included, and go, "Oh, it's all a terrible nightmare."
What if this is the dream, Hobbit?
Well, yeah.
If this is the dream, who's the dreamer?
God. It's God, isn't it? God's having a dream, and we are the actors in the dream.
How do they get all those little people inside a television set, Hobbit?
Well, you got to use a shrink ray.
Oh, Alphabets. Alphabets just mentioned the most famous dream ever in Dallas when Bobby Ewan came out of the shower. Did you remember that one, Hobbit?
Oh,
I don't think you're old, that one. Are you old enough for that one to be relevant to you?
I never watched Dallas, but I am aware it was all a dream, and that's why I really hated the end of Enterprise as well, because they basically did that where it was all just Riker's hologram program. Like, what is this stuff where they go? Yeah, he basically just goes like he's just watching all the stuff like how the.
Did he do the bit from the show?
Yeah, he did.
It was all fake.
It was all. We made it up. This one's fiction.
The only way they could have got away with that ending if he said that afterwards. If he was like talking to Data or something. That's the only way I would let him get away with that as an ending.
Oh no, they couldn't get Brent Spiner in on it, so they had what's her name? Big Tits, Marina Sirtis.
Yeah.
I know. She's got a name.
You know she's from Blinking Catford, don't you? Marina Sirtis.
I know, yeah, because she's Greek, but she's Londoner, and so look, we got a minute left.
See, Catford always makes you think of the PG Tips advert. Do you remember that one?
We got a minute left.
This is Blinking Catford. Do you remember that advert?
I think we've got enough time to do a bit of unexplained.
Correct. Star Trek 5 didn't cop out. They killed God in that. Yeah,
but God was. It was. look, I'm not saying the show, you write what you know, but those writers had just come out of the synagogue when they were writing that plot.
Is that why they killed God?
So I'm not. I just. Oh, here we go. Unexplained mystery. Grandmother has Ouija boards handed out to attendees at a funeral. I think that's all you need. The headline says it all. Close-up image of an ant's face is sure to give you nightmares. It doesn't look very nice.
Astronauts, scientists, and engineers join NASA's new UFO study.
What about this? A woman is swallowed whole by a huge python in the Indonesian jungle.
No, not this.
What's unexplained mystery about that? It's just it's a snake and it ate a woman and. Oh, fate of iconic alien hunting telescope in Puerto Rico revealed. Okay, I will read that one out.
Did it get destroyed?
The world famous. Yes, it did.
That's Arecibo, isn't it?
Yeah, the world famous Arecibo Observatory is completely collapsed back in 2020 after its supporting cables broke. That's what happens when you build these observatories in Puerto Rico. Study situated in Puerto Rico and constructed during the 1960s. The instantly recognizable Arecibo Observatory.
Did you see the antiface of it?
I just said that along Mr. Things. Yeah, they've taken up like huge segments of the concrete, and there's just like all this stuff and like plants and moss. How does that? Amazing. Sadly, though, it now looks very different from its heyday, with its dish cracked and split down the centre and its 900-ton receiver platform, which used to be suspended by cables 400 foot above it, lying in the crumpled heap on the ground after its remaining supports failed 2 years ago. Yeah, that is sad. The unfortunate end to such an iconic facility was sadly all but inevitable after damage sustained during 2 earthquakes broke 2 of the cables, critical to its structural integrity.
It's not.
No, it's just there was no fund.
Did they find something then? Is that what happened?
Well, it was the information coming in from it was analysed by SETI, and it was one of the first.
Well, Jim Mars used to call it a silly excuse to investigate.
Yeah, it was the first like massive supercomputer, which was like the screensaver. You could download bits of the work.
Will it ever be feasible to send astronauts to Venus? Like we haven't really like got regular trips to the moon, let alone Mars, and now they're talking about not going to Venus as well.
I was talking about the feasibility of Venusian colonies with a crackhead a few days ago. Who lost his... I know this crackhead. So he lost his driving license to drink driving, was banned for 18 months from driving. Having recently regained his license, he's had it for about 3 months now. I met him in the pub where he gets 3 pints of Stella for himself, which is just for starters. And I'm sure he had more to drink. And I said to him, so your driver's license is just temporary then? And he shrugs and downs them.
That really is a mystery.
Like, yeah, it's just the mystery of why are you even... Do you want like a lifetime ban from driving because you're going to get one? Anyway, back in 2021...
You seen the jet black shark with extendable mouth that looks like a real life alien xenomorph?
Yeah. No, I'm not going to check it out because I'm going to go to bed. I'm done.
You could go there right now and check it out, but I suggest you don't.
Yeah.
I'll just put it up so the audience can see it. We done for this evening?
The governor of Puerto Rico, whose name is Wanda Vasquez Garcia. Garciad? It's written here as Wanda Vasquez Garcid. It's got a D at the end of it.
No idea.
Signed an executive order stating that it's become Puerto Rico's formal policy to see the territory rebuilt. But Puerto Rico exists as a welfare state of the United States. So they're basically saying, Ayo, USA gives us money so we can totally rebuild.
Nice dish you got there, USA. How about you give us some more money to look after it?
But the thing is, like, there's no engineers and stuff that are going to be able to repair it in Puerto Rico.
Because they've all left, so they all live over here now.
They're just being so like, you need to give us money to repair the dish, and also you need to send over specialists to repair the dish, and you need to like put them up in hotels and pay for them to stay there, and also you need to give us more money for hosting these people in the hotels.
Oh, got one for Ian here. 6th Loch Ness monster sighting of 2022, documented by official register. I'll stick that in, Jerry. We might talk about that next week when we might get Ian on or something.
Go away, go to bed now, go away.
Yeah, right. Stay spooky. I was going to put that other... where is it?
Abe's a dickhead.
I bet I can't. Oh, I'm going to put the ASMR Tales of the Unexpected loop on for a couple of minutes.
I'm not going to listen to that.
Listening pleasure. Let's go!
What's the ASMR? That's not ASMR. I don't get it. That's not ASMR.
Just shut it down.
No. Stay spooky.